Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Amir with another breakdown from Panelfly. Today, we're going to do the new Demon Slayer movie. Um, Let me make sure I'm not butchering the name here. Yeah, it's the Kimetsu no Yaiba Infinity Castle arc. It's part one of part three. It I went ahead and watched it. It hasn't came out in the U.S. yet. I think it comes out sometime in September, so it's about to come out. So I thought this would be a good time. I went ahead and just used a VPN, or I can't remember. Maybe I streamed it, and I watched it. And so I wanted to give a breakdown and give my thoughts on the movie. Um, there will be spoilers. Spoiler alert. I'm just going to break down 10-minute increments since the movie, the first 10 minutes, the next 10 minutes, and so on, and just give you my overall thoughts. I thought it was pretty good. So the way they're kind of doing it is it's going to be like three Hashiras fighting each movie, and then it's going to build up, obviously to the final battle. So in the first movie, it's essentially there's like three main battles. It was Shinobu, who's the insect Hashira, versus Doma. He's I think number two in the demon. Gosh, what's it called? I'm blanking on the name. Let me see here. Let me look at my notes. Um, Upper rank number two. So Doma versus Shinobu. Then it's Tanjiro and my goodness, the Water Hashira. What's his name? Giyu versus Akaza, and it's Zenitsu versus um, Kaigaku. Forgot his name. He was one of Zenitsu's training partners with the grandpa, and now he's a demon. We'll get into that. And essentially, there's a bunch of reflection, and then with Muzan, and they're gonna build that up, obviously. So basically, let's get into it. So it starts off with the Hashira and Tanjiro and all them falling. They're falling for a minute, and they're just kind of getting ready, gearing up for a fight, talking about what's gonna happen. They go through each Hashira. They all kill some demons that aren't ranked. Um, and then it's mainly, gosh, I'm so bad with names. What's his name? The Earth or the Rock Hashira, and the Water or the Mist Hashira. Basically, they're talking and saying, "Oh, I can't believe, Again, I am so bad with names, so just, bear with me, guys. Um, but who's the leader who's poisoned? They were like, oh, I can't believe he's dead. They were like, who must have been a bait? He's the leader of the Hashira in the Demon Slayer Corps. Um, Comment below his name. I am blanking on his name. Who's poisoned? But yeah, they were officially saying it was bait, and he was basically just trying to kill Muzan or just get things going. And then from there, everybody lands. Again, they all kill some demons. And we go to our first fight, which is Shinobu, the insect Hashira, versus Doma. So essentially, these two meet. They have history. So Doma actually killed Shinobu's sister. I think she was a flower Hashira. And again, Shinobu's an insect Hashira. They get in actually a pretty badass battle, honestly. Basically, she tries to poison him, and he just talks and talks, and he's kind of like a lover boy. I guess that's his personality, and she actually does pretty good. She like when she sheaths her katana, she basically turns the handle, and it's a new compound of poison, and so she literally out of nowhere fucking flies and stabs him in the eye and poisons him for a good second. And he's like, what the hell is this? And then he quickly heals. But it's actually badass. It is really badass. And then he's like, you should have went for my neck. Like, what? And she's like, he's like, you have a vengeance for me, I can tell. And that's when she brings up, you killed my sister, you animal. You know, you have no heart, this and that. And of course, he has no heart. And he's like, oh, yeah, you don't have her strength, you don't have her size. And then they get in another battle. She straight up goes for it again, like out of nowhere. It's badass. Then she uses another compound. She twists her thing. And he notices it, so he's just playing around with her. She slices him up, poisons him again. He even quicker heals up from that. And then she's like, oh, I expect all this. And then they get in another fight again, which it's literally all badass. It's great animation too. Again, I believe I streamed it, so it wasn't the greatest animation, but hey, it was worth watching it. I will watch it when it comes out again. Badass action, badass animation. And then they get in a fight, and slowly but surely, none of her compounds are working. She's like, what the hell? She second guesses herself. Why am I so small? Why was my sister so strong? Why are none of my compound poisons working? Why can't I cut his neck? And then, and in between, he uses his blood demon art, which is like a frozen mist. And so she's kind of weakened at this point. And then they get in like a literally intense battle. She's like, oh, my last leg, she's hurt now. I don't want to ruin everything for you. So essentially she's hurt now, gets in a badass battle. Crazy last leg, uses her insect breathing, which is cool. She has like a caterpillar thing, a centipede thing, a butterfly thing, something. It's pretty cool. Gets in a badass battle where it looks like she's almost going to kill him. Unfortunately, she dies, and then as she dies, basically her protege comes in. Yeah, I think she was like the mute one. I can't remember. She also has like the butterfly in her hair. She's smaller. So I think they're going to set up another fight between her and Doma. And that's kind of where we end their things. Sorry, I forgot who that. I don't think she's a Hashira. She might be, but she's younger, smaller. I think maybe protege of the insect Hashira, Shinobu. But anyways, so they're going to set up in the next movie for them to battle. And then next we go to Zenitsu versus Kaigaku. Pretty sure that's his name. He's upper 6 rank, I believe. And essentially he was Zenitsu's training partner under the grandpa to learn lightning breathing. God, is it lightning breathing? I'm blanking on all this shit. But you guys get it. You've seen it clearly. Demon Slayer. So you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, so they're both lightning breathers. Kaiguku, I think he actually ended up killing the grandpa who's their protege, and so now Zenitsu, has always been out for him trying to kill him. And at this point, Zenitsu's a badass who only knows lightning breathing, the first style. Kaiguku actually knows every lightning breathing style but the first one. So they're kind of a great pairing. And then they get in it, badass. Kaiguku's like, oh, you're a scrub. I can tell you got a little bit better, but you're a scrub. Like, why are you here, bro? And Zenitsu, his split personality sleeping form is like, nah, motherfucker, we're about to go at it. I'm going to kill you. I don't know if I can cuss on YouTube. Can I? Hopefully. And then they go at it, and Kaiguku realizes, oh shit, Zenitsu's a badass, but still only knows, lightning style breathing, number one. But he's obviously, perfect at it. And then they get into it. They get in a good battle, which is it's pretty awesome. Obviously, Zenitsu's their breathing style is just great for animation. So it's pretty freaking cool. And they get at it. Kaiguku uses every form. I think lightning breathing style ends at either form 9 or form 10. They get into it, battling it out, and right as it seems like Zenitsu's about to die, he comes out with his own lightning breathing style form. I think form breathing style either 10 or 11, and Kagaku's like, "What? I thought it stopped at 9 or 10, whatever it is." And he cuts off Kagaku's head. So at this point, Shinobu's dead. With Doma still alive, about to battle her protege, Shinobu's protege. Zenitsu just killed Kagaku, and then those crows. Forgot what they're called. I think I have it in my notes somewhere. Thunder breathing too, not lightning breathing. I need to start looking at my notes. That's what I wrote them down for. But yeah, he collapses. So Zenitsu collapses in exhaustion, and then the one of the demons who's working with the other demon who makes the medicine. It's the guy demon and the girl demon. He comes to help Zenitsu. God, I need to start writing their names. But anyways, the crow announces it to everybody. Shinobu's dead. Zenitsu killed Kagaku. Then we cut to Tanjiro versus Giyu. And so they're like running through just trying to find Muzan, I believe. And then out of nowhere, Akaza comes, and you already know what's up. You already know what's up. Honestly, every fight was badass, but they were shorter. Obviously, they're gonna make the Tanjiro and Giyu versus Akaza fight. That's the main fight for the first movie, and that is badass. They're all badass. They're just like Zenitsu and Kagaku is short, and Shinobu versus Doma is short too. They're all badass. In fact, besides, I thought the animation was great on Zenitsu, but I didn't think the fight was anything like crazy, like badass, like different things going on and stuff. It was kind of like straightforward. Granted, Zenitsu only knows one thunder breathing style. Because like even the Shinobu fight was pretty badass with Doma. Then we get to Tanjiro and Giyu, which honestly was badass. It was longer too, which is great. But like it was badass. It was they're all badass. Don't get me wrong. So obviously Akaza's ranked upper 3. He killed. My God, don't tell me I'm gonna forget. Fire breathing style. Rengoku. Goodness, I was like, I can't forget Rengoku. No way you're gonna forget that, dude. Okay, so it's Tanjiro and Giyu versus Akaza. So basically, it's kind of like Tanjiro at first fighting Akaza. He wants to get him back. First of all, he just heard Shinobu died, so he's pissed. Then he obviously is pissed for Rengoku. So they kind of fight at first. And then something happens. I think he gets hurt, and then we're gonna go on a little journey with Tanjiro, which I'll go here in a second. And then it's basically Giyu versus Akaza. And don't quote me, but I think actually Tanjiro tries to get in, but he's obviously like, "Oh, their speeds are too great," or "I was just getting in the way," type thing, kind of with Rengoku, something like that. But either way, Tanjiro's hurt too, so that might be it. He's kind of hurt at this point. Nothing crazy, but I don't want to go into all the details. But anyways, so yeah, Tanjiro's fought Akaza, and now Giyu's fighting Akaza. Tanjiro's sidelined, and now we're about to go through this journey with him, which I swear they didn't set this up, and I didn't really read the manga. I think I've read chapters here and there of things and some YouTube videos, but I ain't really read the manga like that, so I don't know if they set this up, but apparently, and I know his like dad was, some crazy Hashira, sun-breathing Hashira. But anyway, so Tanjiro goes on this journey where he needs to tap into the transparent world and selfless state. And, like, it's a whole thing. Like, it's not just like, oh, yeah, he's got his cut's healing or, okay, screw the cut, don't think about it, fight. No, he's, like, going into this journey, dad flashbacks, the dance on dance thing, transparent world, selfless state. And so he can basically see, like, fighting aura now, and you're gonna have to watch it, and it's which is gonna come out soon. But basically, yeah. So he can like see fighting aura, and Akasa's one of Akasa's blood demon art is that he can basically see fighting aura as well, which also I think helps him predict the next move, or he can see the predict the next move, which is why he's such like a good like counter striker. In the real world, be more like a counter striker, something like that. Because he's a mixed martial artist. Um, and so yeah, so essentially Tanjiro learns that kind of move in his own way, which is like transparent world, selfless state, and Akaza has that move. So, and then eventually Tanjiro, now that he's mastered that, and I think he's pissed and his scar grows too. Don't quote me on that. Something like that. And then he decapitates Akaza, but Akaza, like we do a flashback with Akaza. Oh, realize obviously with Doma and Kagaku, we do flashbacks with them too. Same for Shinobu and Zenitsu when they're fighting all each other. They all do flashbacks. I don't want to get into everything, and I'm trying to keep these videos 10, 15, 20 minutes, nothing crazy. So you're going to see that. But basically, we get in flashback with Akaza, you know, and again, don't want to get into everything. So basically, getting flashback with Akaza, but Akaza's all about like fighting spirit, like not gonna give up. Like I don't care how down and out I am, I don't care how tired I am, whatever. I'm not giving out. So he decapitates Akaza. It seems like he's gonna die, but Akaza's like no, tries to regrow back his head, and like I'm gonna get back into it. And as he regrows back his head, he has another flashback. So it's not fully grown. It's kind of weird. It just looks like his neck, and then it's trying to grow a head. And he gets in another flashback, and basically his story, just because it's a longer part and a longer flashback than Shinobu, Domo, or Zenitsu and Kagaku, his story is basically, he was a thief for his dad, then his dad dies or gets killed, I can't remember, and then this, MMA dojo guy finds him, his daughter's sick, just like Akasa's dad was. And they live a good life now, and basically they get killed by a rival dojo, and Akasa's like, basically pissed at that point. And I don't know, he's a big MMA guy. I don't want to get into everything, but basically Akaza had a hard life. But then he realized, like, when the dojo guy found him and his daughter, they had a good life with them. And so as Akasa's growing his head back, he's like, man, like, let me just go join them in the afterlife. And then Akaza tries killing himself. And that doesn't even work because Akaza is so damn strong. And then finally, after multiple attempts, he ends up killing himself. And Tanjiro and Giyu are like, what the fuck? And then I think they might pass out, something like that. And so that's kind of where we are. Shinobu's dead. Her protege's, I guess, about to fight Doma. Zenitsu's like in a coma after fighting Kagaku. Kagaku's dead. Akasa's now dead, and Tanjiro and Giyu are pretty out of it. And so that's kind of where we end. We get prepared for the second movie, where I'm assuming, I don't want to do names. But the second movie, so it's going to be probably the Wind Hashira. I guarantee he's going to have a battle. And then they show, what's his name at the end? What is it? Upper rank number 4 or something? The guy with the eyes, I think he's the sun breathing. I think he's Tanjiro's uncle or some shit. Don't quote me on that. They do, so he's probably going to be fighting next movie, I would assume, too. Maybe against the blind, what's his name, the Earth Hashira. So I know I guarantee the Wind Hashira is going to be fighting next movie. Hard to say which one else is going to be fighting next movie. Maybe, what's his name, the Snake Hashira. And I would say maybe the Earth, and he's with the Mist Hashira. So they might fight next movie. Also, Shinobu's protege versus Doma. I doubt Zenitsu's gonna fight next movie. He's out. The um, God, I'm so bad with names, but um, Beast. What's his name? Not Beast, bro. The guy who wears the boar mask. Why is Tanjiro Zenitsu and guys comment below. But anyways, I bet he'll have a fight scene next movie. Um, and so we'll see. But basically, those are the three big fights, and those are the main characters. Everyone I talked about was in the first movie. And basically, Muzan's presence is going to grow stronger. Um, and, they're always going to have flashbacks. But yeah, guys, essentially that I don't want to spoil anything much more. Essentially, that's the new Demon Slayer movie in a nutshell. Should be coming out soon. If not, you can always stream it, and I think even just use a VPN. Um, so that is kind of my breakdown of the new Demon Slayer movie, and kind of my thoughts on it. Kind of each talking point, I gave you my thoughts. Not really gonna have anything huge at the end, but these are more like kind of breakdown, explainer, review type things. Um, so yeah, guys, it was awesome. Definitely recommend you watch it. Again, should be coming out soon. I'm gonna rewatch it when it comes out. I want to see that great animation. But sweet. Again, my name's Amir. If you can hit the like button, if you can subscribe, comment below your thoughts, comment below names of all the Hashiras I fucked up. So cool, guys. Again, this is Amir with Panelfly, with Elite Suites, and that was my review on the new Demon Slayer movie. Thanks, guys.